Why, hello everyone, Trevor here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all are doing okay out there. We had a massive snowstorm this weekend all across this great country of ours. And New Jersey itself getting hit pretty hard as myself. So just want to hope everyone is doing okay out there safety-wise. And if you're attending tonight's game, just want to say be safe in your travels, all right? Slow commutes, all right? Take extra time if you need to. And for those of you who take public transit like myself, NJ Transit, they are running a modified train schedule at the moment. So check your NJ Transit app for times for your station and arrival into Newark Penn. As for the game itself tonight, the Devils are back home to round out the month of January. As tonight, they welcome in the Winnipeg Jets. So Devils and Jets this evening from The Rock. It is also Ring of Honor night for John McClane, which I'll get into a little bit later. But the game itself this evening. So this is the second and final meeting between these two teams this season. Winnipeg won the first 4-3 back on January 11th. For the Devils, they come into this one 27-23-2. Their last game was Sunday afternoon, the 4-2 loss to the Kraken up in Seattle. So Seattle taking the Cryptid Cup for now until next season. Goals leaders for the Devils and the points leader, same player, Nico Hischier, 16 goals, 39 points. For the Winnipeg Jets, they are 20-24-7 coming into this one. Their last game was a 5-1 loss to Detroit. Their goals leader is Mark Scheifele with 25, and he's also leading the team in points with 61. So the Northwest Canadian road trip the Devils do yearly, pretty solid trip. You know, you can't complain. They won 3 of 4. Yeah, the Seattle game was a stinker on that Sunday. They should have at least gotten a point from that one. So tough pill to swallow to end that trip, giving up 2 goals in 18 seconds. Including an own goal in there, so just a rough way to end the road trip. But you got Lenny's first NHL goal, good for the kid. Simo Nemec coming back into the lineup, got the overtime winner there in Calgary. Unfortunately, lost Luke Hughes in the process. He left the Calgary game with a shoulder injury, non-contact, tough. It was worst case scenario at first. They were thinking a dislocated shoulder, but he met with his doctors that he had his shoulder surgery on this past summer and 2 summers ago when he was in a sling randomly. That picture popped up. We all remember that one. So he talked with his doctors, Devils organization, and they think surgery ain't a requirement. They think it's not worth it to get a surgically repaired. So he's just going to do a full rehab. Will be out through the Olympic break. We know that. Probably might miss a game or 2 coming out of the Olympic break. We'll see how he's feeling by then. So don't expect Luke Hughes for the remaining 5 games here before the Olympic break. But just in general too, you know, the Devils, again, they had a chance. And I know playoffs aren't going to happen this year. I fully understand that. But they had a chance to pull within 1 point of 3rd place in the Metropolitan Division if they would have won Sunday. And they failed to do it. You know, they won 3 games in a row. They could have won 4 in a row for the first time since the 8-game win streak in October. And again, they just can't do it. They can't get a moment. They can't get themselves to the groove. That is the one thing they've been struggling with this year, last year, and the same thing. I mean, the game in Seattle, I mean, look, you know, you start Jacob Markstrom, that's the liability you put in net. The guy freaking sucks, and it is a tough pill to swallow that they gave this guy another 2 years for $12 million when he is undoubtedly one of the worst goaltenders in the NHL this season. So we'll see what happens. Some positives, though, all right? Let's switch up. Let's get positive for a little bit. Cody Glass, 4 goals in the past 6 games, 7 total points. He's been killing it. The line of Glass, Gritsuk, and Lenny has been phenomenal. Really enjoying that combination. Hopefully they can stick together moving forward. And here's the big one, folks. Remember when Dougie Hamilton got healthy scratched? Well, ever since then, he's recorded at least 1 point in every game since then. So let's just say Mr. Hamilton took it personally that he got healthy scratch. And the Devils have to keep him at this point. They have no choice with Luke Hughes now on the shelf. So, I mean, the rumors were going around that he could be traded. Probably not again going to happen at this point because they're going to need him now that Luke's out. So it is what it is. But hey, if Dougie's going to continue to produce, maybe we could get a nice haul for him after the season ends. Trying to dump that $9 million contract of his. Winnipeg coming into this one 1-5 in their past 5 games. Tough season for them as the defending President's Trophy winner. They've had a lot of injuries and just a tough year overall for the Jets. So there's your game tonight. The Ring of Honor night. All right. So John McClain. Let's talk about him for a little bit. He was 6 overall. Drafted 6 overall, back in 1983. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, one as a player in 95, the other as a coach in 2000 for the Devils. He scored probably one of the biggest goals in franchise history in 1988. It was the last game of the regular season, the Devils and the Chicago Blackhawks. Devils had to win to clinch their first ever playoff spot in franchise history. And John McClain was the guy to do that in overtime that evening. So, respect to him. One of the great players of this organization and getting his due into the Ring of Honor. So, it'll be a good ceremony tonight before the game. And hopefully a good game in general. You know, you're going to have a lot of alumni out there tonight. So, do them proud tonight, boys. Do them proud. So, that will do it for this one. Just be safe if you're traveling, all right? I'm going to take it slow myself, getting my way up to the arena this evening. And all these snowstorms have to happen when the team is in town and games are played. So, cool stuff. Yay. But we're going to make a swing of it tonight. So, that will do for this one. I will be back after the game with my thoughts, so stay tuned for that later on. But for me, for now, that will do it. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Trevor, and I'll see you for the next one.